Hi, I'm Mari Henby from Coastal Treasures here on the beautiful Oregon coast. Welcome to our store and our haunted funeral home. Roughly this house was built as a home around 1910-ish. And then around 1917-ish, it was a 5-bedroom hospital. This whole balcony open area that you see now was not how it was when it was a hospital. This was actually sealed shut. There were doors here, there were doors here, there was a door there. All of these were real doorways. These were all closed off rooms. It was actually not as open as you see today. The hospital is who put all of the stained glass in. If you can look, you can see all the stained glass. It's absolutely stunning. It bathes the whole store in a purple glow right around twilight. Well, it ended up being a funeral home. And then around the 1960s is when it became a church. So the church parlor and the viewing casket room is now our master bedroom, not open to the public. Right where I'm sleeping on my side of the bed, and so unfortunately our king size bed is where all the caskets were. So, but we sleep like a baby. We sleep with the ghosts, yes we do. It also then became the funeral home in 1980s that unfortunately was Dale Almsberg, was the guy who stacked the bodies up and let it decompose. Some really cool things. I mean, I get the horror, but there's beautiful elements to the home. This stone fireplace was done, I believe, in around 2016, 2015 ish, give or take a few years. All of these thunder eggs are all local agates. This is the original stone foundation that is in our basement, and they put this all in here. And this little stone here, it's actually really neat. They found this stone in the foundation stones in the basement. I was at work and my husband opened up the door, and this thing, to be honest with you, is pretty heavy. It's very heavy. It's full brass. My husband came home and it was sitting up there, and he found it like this. Now I have a picture of it laying there, but I mean, that doesn't tell you anything. But what we know is that this has glass. This should have shattered. There's no way it went from here to there. It would have done this, fell here, tumbled maybe, but the glass would have shattered. The glass is very, very thin. So we wouldn't want that to fall. But that was over there. And then we came home on another day. Before we have our brown couch there, we had the big red couch. And it was a large oval, like sofa table. And that thing's really heavy. Even though it had wheels on carpet, that thing doesn't move. So we found it across the by the TV. It had moved overnight. We wish we had video of that. Now that corresponds with what we were told, is that when Kip bought this place, the mortuary tables were upstairs, like just littered up there, and this whole place was derelict. Police officers who told us that has happened to them too here, that the mortuary tables and the furniture would move. So we experienced that the very first month that we were here, coming into the building, things moving, and even had things fall. We said the ghost didn't like all our one display. We've had this one display cabinet in our other store ladled with as much stuff as we normally have, and in the 3 years it's never cracked. And then we have the glass still, I think, downstairs somewhere, but it's sliced completely straight down the middle. That we have all 3 panels sliced down the middle, like a perfect, as if somebody took a knife and sliced it down. And these are thick glass that never shattered before for any reason. And it was like a clean break. Killed our whole display a day before we were opening up. We had to change the whole display the night before we were about to open for Antique Week. So we were just like, holy cow. Do you see the little squares? There's like little squares here. There's some square on the floor over there. The police did cut up the floors upstairs and this floor, because they were looking for bodies in between the floorboards. They did tell us that there's no bodies in the floorboards today, and there's none in the walls. I want to tell you about a recent story that happened to us, a recent haunting. For some reason at 544, the camera, this one, that you see spinning around angled and straight shot this right here to this cubby. It literally shot down and focused in on this cubby at 5:44. I happened to walk over here and I noticed that one of the fish is cracked on the ground. I go and I say, let me go ahead and pull all the cameras at that minute that fell. For that 1 minute, all the cameras in the entire building shut off. So it's one of those things where things happen, but it's not filmed at that very moment. And also things will grab your leg when you're walking through the store sometimes, or you feel your hair tugged, and that's usually a little boy ghost or some other ghost. We have cigar smoke guy, and he smokes right here or tends to go in our bedroom and smoke. We usually go in there and we're like, oh, cigar man's in there. It smells like cigars, and it's not like modern day cigar stuff. We'll start posting a lot more because things happen daily. The thing about it is you don't always catch the videos. Things happen. My husband's shirt lifted up out of nowhere, just poofed up. I've had set on our little couch that we have in our bedroom and had my hair yanked numerous times. And that's when I know somebody's behind me. You will hear voices. Again, now we have cameras, so now we can hear audio. This had glass on it, but I found it on the floor. And the glass had shattered. And look at the name. Dale Omsbergs.
Yeah, well.
So we'll be taking it off the wall, but this is where it's been. But for some reason, it decided to leap off the wall. So we're going to go ahead and take that off the wall. We'll put it where we can see it. So up here, I know that there's two ghosts up here. I've actually seen her. We have another ghost we were told of is a little boy. So there was a La Petite Bakery. They used to bake their treats here in that commercial kitchen. And they would report a little boy ghost who loves sugar, and he would leave his sugar trail. So this is the original mortuary door. Now I do want, it's a mess. It's a mess. We don't let the public down there. Eventually we'll open it up. But I want to show you this. This is a quartz rosary. A rose quartz rosary. A friend of ours gave it to us because we got sick and tired of. We have crosses we're going to throw up here too. It's because this door keeps opening. And even though I locked this door,
Is it still open?
it will still open. So we'll wake up at night, feel a breeze in our bedroom because we keep our bedroom door open. At night, we're not closed up. We like to know what's coming for us. So we keep all the doors open so I can see if somebody was to knock, I can lean over my bed and look out and see if somebody's at our porthole door. There's air underneath here. I don't know what's underneath here, to be honest with you. I don't know if the police really looked underneath these steps. Was actually the mortuary room. This is where they did the autopsies. You cannot tell, and they've resealed it, but the actual crematorium was on this wall. The ovens are around the building. All the brick. Now, if you steal a brick from us, you're gonna probably get haunted, and don't steal a brick. Bottom line is, you don't want to take home the negative energy and desecrate the dead, so please don't steal bricks from our building, because whoever did steal the one brick from our building, good luck with that, because you're definitely, I'm pretty sure you're having a miserable life. Don't steal any bricks. So if you think you're taking stuff from the building, you're gonna have bad juju from that, because the ghosts here, they're real, they're scary, and I would not be stealing. So don't steal our bricks, don't steal anything off our porch or anything on the property. This goes pretty far back that way. Along the wall, I have shelving right now. The reason why we have the shelving there is one of two reasons. One, as we were moving in here, we could see shapes of bodies stacked up along that wall. So what happens is when you die, your body decomposes, all your memory cells go into a surface. So that's why whenever you look at crime scene stuff, sometimes you see outlines of bodies, and it's permanent. You can wash it off, scrub it off, and the stuff doesn't come off. It's because it permeates into the into whatever material it is that is. So along that wall, there's short figures, tall figures, bent knees, and that whole wall is pretty damn scary. It's like several levels of people that were against that wall. so that were decomposing, and you could tell because it permeated on the wall, and you could definitely see shapes of people. We will not have that viewing. It will all be with stuff against it. We don't want to paint over it and desecrate it, but we will put shelves against it. If you look over here on the floor, this was also sealed. We don't know what's underneath the tarp there. We were told it's all filled in with dirt. Our question was, why would that be filled in with dirt? Because I don't understand what the real reason is to not have that still part of the basement. That goes back really pretty far back still. It was a mortuary that was open, that was not sealed. The police did whatever it is that happened that they're covering up with all that dirt. This over here was all jackhammered by the police when they found the bodies. They said that when you walk down the basement stairs, that the goo was oozing, that the decay was all over the floors like slush. The exact example they told us was it was like mucking through slush. Everyone who comes down here either will fall down the stairs, and we've all fell down the stairs. We continue to fall down it, but you get really dizzy down here. A lot of people feel a different energy down here, so it's very, very heavy. Sometimes more than others, especially toward nighttime, but in any time of the day, it's pretty ominous down here. It has a really oppressive feel. It still has, you see the biohazard and the contaminated equipment and skin contact. That's all part of the original mortuary. You know, you definitely feel Dale down here. This room in particular, I think he spent a lot of time in here. So this place has a really ominous feel. You can feel the heaviness in here. Like, I'm dizzy now. We don't stay here that long. We actually don't really come down to the basement. We come down only when we need to get stuff. Now, you know, it's not sticking to any of the merchandise, so don't be worried. But don't get me wrong, have we had merchandise we've sold that was haunted? Yeah. If we told you it was haunted, it's because it's actually haunted. Stuff is more rare than you think. People think, oh, everything's haunted because it's a funeral home. It's not true. It's a very small percentage of stuff that's actually haunted. That's a rarity. Trust me, if there's other things that come up as haunted and we figure it out, we'll, you know, let people know. We had a wedding dress in another store. Somebody did buy it. We had to disclose to them that it came with a ghost, and that if they were planning to chop up the wedding dress, that we're not selling it to them. I want to tell you something. I think buildings choose you, just so you know. So I know for a fact that this building chose us, and this was supposed to be our building. When we first came here to Oregon almost 4 years ago, we passed this building, and this building instantly caught our attention, not just because it's beautiful. Something about this building really drew us, and we always said, oh, wouldn't that be wonderful if we ever owned that building or got to live in it. Then we're like, probably never gonna happen. But there was something about this building that always kept drawing us. A couple months after we moved here to Oregon, we ended up finding another building down the road because this one was not available and it was not for sale. We ended up opening up a store down the road, but when this building came up for sale, we were actually planning putting in to purchase it. We never got a chance to because the building got purchased pretty quickly. And we were pretty bummed. My husband said to me, he said, great, now we lost the building that we really loved, the only building that we ever wanted to purchase. Now we lost a chance to do it. And I said, I looked at him, I said, I'll tell you what, I know for a fact that the spirits of this building want us to have it, and they're gonna make it possible. And of course he laughed at me and he said, we lost it and it's just not gonna happen. And I said, mark my words, I'm telling you right now that I don't care who bought it, but we're gonna live in this building and we're gonna have it one day and it will be ours. And of course he was like, whatever. Well, the people who did buy the building are wonderful. They're super wonderful people. A couple of the things that they had planned to do with the building didn't come to fruition. So they ended up coming to us and asking us if we were interested in the building. Isn't it weird how I said we were gonna have this building? I knew it. Every time we passed this building, I said, don't you worry. We looked at the building and I would talk to it and I would say, you want us to own it? You better make it happen. And lo and behold, today, here we are. We don't own it yet, what we are in this building. And that's the first step, right? All of the really scary haunted stories that we've heard, the ghosts here have been very kind to us. It is haunted. We do feel a haunting almost daily, but you can't always catch everything that happens, nor are you thinking about catching it, because in real life you live there. You're not catching a ghost story. You live it. I live a day-to-day life. We don't always get to document every time a ghost thing happens. It happens more frequently than people know. And now that we have cameras with audio, I'm more likely to catch stuff. But all I want to tell you is that if you're meant to have something, the spirits will make it possible, because they choose who they want to live in their homes. I believe the spirits want us here. They have made us feel extremely welcome. There are times that sales are really, really tough, and especially right now in this economy, it's pretty slow. We've talked to them. We've said, help us, give us ideas, bring people in, whatever the case may be. And it would be weird that when we say those things sometimes, that they actually happen to be a fantastic day. It's who you work with. The spirits, they do listen to you. Do I feel like saging them? This is the first building I don't want to sage. I don't have a desire to sage them. Now the basement, different story, but right now, I think we work very cohesive together. So I don't have a need to sage them, nor do I want anybody to come in to do it. We're all a family at Coastal Treasures. So come on in.